So, how do you get work? That's the question everybody wants to know, and it's a good question. So, let's talk about it. Number one, you could do a form letter, right? And send it out to agents. Okay. Now, I do not, now, just because you get a bite and you get an agent doesn't mean your problems are over and you'll always have work. You will always need to be very mercenary, and you will always need, most likely, to be looking for work and having work coming in from different places. But that is a legitimate way of getting work, is to reach out to an agency and say, hey, here's I'm non union. If you are non union, I have a home studio. I have top of the line gear, whatever you want to tell them, and then send it off. And if you don't hear back from them, that's okay. Send them another email. You know, make them tell you no. And then even if they tell you no, maybe try again in a few weeks or months. You just never know. But I would recommend having your demo made first, or at least, at the very least, some demos, like some samples that they could listen to. But I would say, you should have your demo first. Now, another way is to get on freelance sites. Fiverr, Freelancer, Upwork, Voice Bunny, Voquent. There's just tons of different freelance sites. Now, I say freelance sites as opposed to pay to play sites. A freelance site is where you put a profile up, and then when you book work, let's say Fiverr, you book a job, they take 20% and then you get paid 80% of the purchase price. It's like having an agent. They take their cut, and you keep your 80%, and you are getting put in front of people that you never would have met. They never would have heard you if you weren't on Fiverr. So I think Fiverr is a good one. Fiverr's been very good to me. I highly recommend being on there. As we mentioned before, some agencies frown on it. There's going to be some people that poo-poo the idea, and they don't want you on there. And if you've been on Fiverr, you're sort of a soiled dove to them or whatever, and that's fine. I don't really care what they think, personally. If you do, and there's nothing wrong if you do, I have good friends that are like, oh, I don't want to be on Fiverr because I'm afraid I'll sort of blacklist myself. Uh, that's fine. I know a lot of people that think like that, but I work from home as a voice actor. You know what I mean? I generally, of my friends that think like that, I get more work than they do. So, you know, however you want to go about doing it, but just know some people don't like Fiverr and sort of the cheaper stuff. So, the selling price is a little cheaper than somewhere else. Another place that you can do is the pay to play sites, which are, Mandy, Voices123, Voices.com. I personally, I'm not on there. I don't really recommend them, certainly not at the beginning. They're not scams or anything like that. But the thing is, you pay a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, in order to access auditions. Now, if you're doing this as a full-time gig, or you don't have a job right now, and you're working hard on your voiceover stuff, then it may work, because as soon as that audition drops, you can get an audition sent in. My problem early on, when I was still in a factory, is that when I would get the audition, they would drop in the morning. Maybe they would come in the morning or something. Well, I couldn't do anything until that evening when I got back from work, and as a result, hardly any of mine got listened to. And to me, what's the point? I would understand it if I'm being listened to and just didn't book the job. It's like, well, I got to get better. But when it's like they're not even listening to me, it doesn't matter how good I am, uh, or bad I am. There's zero chance if anyone's going to listen to you. So I don't recommend those. Certainly not for beginners. I do know of people that make great money on those. I have never had any luck on those. But make up your own mind, of course, but I tend to point towards, certainly beginners, towards the freelance uh, sites that make money when I make money, as opposed to, they sort of have your money and they still take a cut of your earnings, by the way. But it's kind of like they have your money, so who cares? That's that's how it feels to me. So those are two option or three options: get an agent, freelance sites, and pay to play sites. Now, another way to do it is get on Google and look up production companies. I would look on there, find their creative director. A lot of times they're small, and it'll be, the owner, president, and CEO, and send him or her a email. Kind of the same with the um, kind of the same with the agent. Say, I'm looking for work. I'd be interested in getting on your talent roster, that kind of thing. You never know that I've had success with that in the past. Email somebody, they email back and say, "Hey, I've got a job I'd be interested in sending your way." So you never know. Google is great. I would definitely spend time. I would definitely spend time on there searching, production companies, e-learning, uh, uh, e-learning production companies of all different kinds, production companies. So I would definitely get on Google and look for production companies of all different types, and just say, "Hey, I'm available. Here's my voice. I've got competitive rates. I'm non-union, etc." And a lot of times, you're going to get work from that. It's a numbers game. It's not like you'll get tons of work doing it that way, but you can get repeat work, and if you send out enough emails, you're going to get some responses. So another way is to use social media. So I don't know if you're on social media or you even like social media, that kind of thing. I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, YouTube, and TikTok, and I put different stuff up a lot of the time. But I have gotten work from each one of those. TikTok being, that's where I have the most followers. I've gotten a lot of work off of there. YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn. Everything that I'm on, I've gotten work from. And to me, that's as simple as, um, hey, I did this, and one time before I ever even had a paid gig, I took those little cozy coupes, the little red car with the yellow top, and it's for little toddlers to walk around. I did a I took one of those, took my 2-year-old son, drove him around the yard, videoed it, and then I did a voiceover in a British accent, like Benedict Cumberbatch doing a Jaguar commercial. But I did it with, the Cozy Coop. So it was kind of funny, right? And I posted that, and Cozy Coop even liked it. Like the company liked it, and that got a lot of views and a lot of like, "Oh, ha, Jacob's, he's funny and he does voiceover work." That kind of stuff. Even if you're not selling anything, just making content is going to get you in people's feeds, and they're going to connect you with voiceover, and then you're going to start getting that, like, "Hey, my company is doing the telephone answering, automated answering system. Would you be available for that? How much would you charge?" That sort of thing. That happens all the time to me, and I don't have a lot of followers. We got a few thousand in each um, one, but like, I get a lot of followers from that. So I would definitely encourage you to use your social media. Another thing, and I would say specifically, something like YouTube or a podcast, but that is, use that to practice. I started a podcast called The Cultured Bumpkin, which is also my YouTube channel name. And that's where I put my work when I'm not getting paid for it from a customer. I'm recording Shakespeare or O. Henry or Mark Twain or the Bible, or I'm making an audiobook and I put it on YouTube, and then it goes up there, and then I get paid for the ads that run on it from YouTube. And then there's a lot of ways you can get paid with your voice doing that, but I get a lot of traffic to my demos, right? Because I'll post, here's this audiobook that I did. You can listen to it for free. And then in the show notes, I have my demo and I have ways to contact me and things like that. So you're always putting out work. So someone can come across your podcast and say, man, you've got 50 episodes here of this great poetry, or, just whatever. I mean, be talking. I happen to do not a lot of talking, but I do a lot of reading. And so just be creative with that. Don't be afraid to say, look, I'm going to do some free work on my own terms until I, I get my feet under me and I start getting some clients and some repeat business. So, like I said, get an agent if you wish. That won't change your life unless there's a couple of different agencies that probably would change your life. Other than that, it's probably not going to change your life. It'll just be helpful. It'll be one of those places that you can get work from time to time and do those auditions that even if you don't get the job, you're still practicing, that kind of thing. Agent, freelance sites, pay to play sites, Google, cold emailing, cold calling people, social media, and podcast, YouTube type things. Those are all great ways to get business. And those are all legitimate ways of getting business. But you're really limited only by your imagination. If you can figure something else out, that's totally fine. If you want to call, cold call radio stations, that you just do it. If you can think of it, you can do it. And then once the work comes in, just treat them well, treat others as you would want to be treated, keep them in the loop. If hey, I said I would get it back to you by noon, but this thing came up, so it'll be more like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that kind of thing. Just bad news doesn't get better with time, that kind of thing. Make sure that you treat people right. Make sure that you deliver on time. Make sure you're a delight to work with. And then people will want to work with you regardless of what you sound like, just about. Like if you're anywhere near good, they will hire you because you're a delightful person. And so do those things, be nice, turn in your homework on time, and you'll be good to go. What a gorgeous lady.